show most of the areas into the 70s, 67 up to the Falls, but most of the rest of the readings into the 70s, except for that cool spot down in Rochester, 66, even 73 over in Eau Claire. Currently outside at the airport, though, our skies have clouded over. We have mostly cloudy skies. The temp now at 72. Dew point climbing up there. It's 54. Getting a little bit uncomfortable outside. Relative humidity now at 53%. Those winds have been what's helping us out today, making it a little cooler. South wind now at 16. Barometric pressure steady but very low, 29.52 inches. And as I said, it is mostly cloudy outside. The reason for that is a storm system, and a very strong one out to the west of us. And that brought up all the warm air. 82 for a high today, well above what it should be. 51 this morning's low, and that is also above the normal. No precipitation yet. However, that could change. A very strong low-pressure system now in the western Dakotas is starting to touch off showers and thunderstorms in the western Dakotas, but most of the activity is hanging back in the cooler air across the central Rockies. They've even had snow from northern Nevada up into the western part of Montana, and all that moisture, but that heat is still sliding in our direction. Look at the satellite loop for the last 8 to 12 hours. A lot of sunshine across most of the upper Midwest, but in the last couple of hours, watch the thunderstorms develop out in the western Dakotas. That is what's headed in our direction. But until that time, another day like we had today. The forecast map for tomorrow shows sunshine across most of southern Minnesota, right down through Iowa and Missouri, but out to the west, a cool front cutting through the Dakotas will touch off some scattered thunderstorms. Look for another day tomorrow in the 80s. The forecast for the Twin Cities for tonight then calls for a partly cloudy night. An isolated thunderstorm late. Lows should be in the upper 50s and lower 60s. The outlook for tomorrow, another warm one, partly cloudy and windy. Chance of showers and thunderstorms. Gets a little bit better, especially in the late afternoon and evening. 79 to 84. The outlook for Monday night into Tuesday, variable cloudiness. That means in and out of the clouds, a chance of showers and thunderstorms gets even better. 50s for lows and 60s for highs. We cool down. Looking ahead a little bit farther, still some more thunderstorms in there. And if you have a wet yard and a wet basement like a lot of people do, you probably don't want to see any more thunderstorms, but we are getting into summer-like thunderstorms.
Hooray.
Yep.
Thank you, Dave.
Okay.
Coming up next in sports, the Strikers force Cleveland out of the playoffs. And buckle your seatbelts because you're going to see the great pace car caper. Rob Lear has it all next.
This is how most burglars get their kicks. Foot by foot. Deadbolt or not. But not with Schlage, the only deadbolt lock with a strike plate reinforcer and 3-inch screws that dig deeper into your wall. Now, how can you knock a lock that offers better protection? Nice try. Schlage, a striking improvement in home security.
Kumbak. It began 135 years ago, Tivoli, when these classic old-world beers turned a northern outpost town, Mainer, into the brewing capital of America, Old Heidelberg. That Milwaukee brewing tradition is alive today. Blatz. Blatz is still brewed the old-world way, for the same classic taste that shaped the destiny of Milwaukee. Today's Blatz. Taste the heritage of Milwaukee.
Our buyer goofed. Our loss is your gain. 20% off manufacturer's suggested retail price. Bargains galore. You want it? We got it. Regularly $19.99. Now only $19.98. We're practically giving it away. We buy in value and pass the savings on to you. The bosses are now. Everything.
Knox. Our prices are driving our competition into the ground.
Come to Builder Days at Knox, where over 500,000 board feet of red cedar deck lumber is on sale now, with 1x6s at just 21 cents a foot.
You can too during the Lincoln Mercury Mercourt Great American Shape-Up. Unlike GM and some imports, we're not raising prices. Plus, get low 6.9 annual percentage rate financing on great shapes like Mercury Cougar and Lynx, and a special low lease rate on Mercourt XR4 Ti and Lincoln Town Car. Or save hundreds on select Mercury models when you buy special option packages. The Great American Shape-Up at your Lincoln Mercury Mercourt dealer today.
The shape you want to be in. The Strikers continue their winning ways.
They certainly do. Some good news. The Strikers are headed for the championship round of the MISL playoffs. Tonight at Met Center, a playoff record crowd of over 10,000 saw the Strikers beat Cleveland to clinch that series. The final 7-3. Cleveland got on the board first, but then Thompson, you see, into Alan Woolley for the goal, and the game is tied at 1. The game was tied at 2, third quarter. Then it's Woolley again. Allen scored 4 goals tonight as the Strikers beat Cleveland 7-3. The Strikers now a perfect 10 at home at playoff action and they're headed for the MISL Championship Series that begins later this week. One streak is over, another could be just beginning for the Twins. The one that's over is Kirby Puckett's hitting streak. It ended at 16 games, and Kirby wasn't the only Twin having problems at the plate this afternoon at Tiger Stadium. So did the rest of the team, and their 4-1 loss leaves the Twins now with a 2-game losing streak. The Tigers did it with 3 home runs off Bert Blyleven. This 2-run shot by Lou Whitaker in the third gave the Tigers a 3-0 lead. The only highlight for the day came for the Twins on defense. Watch the effort by Billy Bean in left. He's got it. He robs Dave Collins of an extra base hit. Great catch by Bean. But hits were not what the Twins lacked today. That is, in fact, what they lacked today, as the inconsistent Frank Tanana gave up just 6 hits as the Tigers beat the Twins 4-1. Other scores around baseball was Boston 4, Oakland 1. Milwaukee, the Brewers came from behind to beat California. Toronto by a run over Seattle. Kansas City ran up the score on Baltimore. It was Texas by a run over the Yankees. And in 10 innings, Cleveland beat Chicago. Over on the national side, it was a strawberry Sunday for the New York Mets. Darryl Strawberry provided a double delight with 2 home runs, his 4th and 5th of the season. The Mets continue to be hot as they win now for the 14th time in 15 games. New York over the Reds today, 7-2. Other scores, it was the Redbirds over Los Angeles, 3-1. Philadelphia by 4 over Atlanta. Montreal by a run over Houston. It was Pittsburgh 5, San Diego 2, and the Giants sweep a pair from the Chicago Cubs. The Calgary Flames caught on fire tonight to beat the St. Louis Blues 8-2 and tie that Stanley Cup Series at a game apiece. Calgary scored early and often tonight. First period, Doug Risebrower is in the right place at the right time to slap in a rebound past Rick Wamsley. Risebrower scored a pair of goals in the opening period, 3 for the game. The Flames never looked back. They have tied that series at a game apiece, Game 3 in St. Louis on Tuesday. The Boston Celtics have finally lost a game in the NBA playoffs. Today in Atlanta, the Hawks handed the Celtics their first loss in 6 playoff games, that final 106-94. It was the Spud and Dominique show for the Hawks. Spud webbed the Dominique Wilkins for the slam. Wilkins finished with 37. Larry Bird had an off game for the Celtics, but Kevin McHale picked up some of the slack. That's McHale for 2. He had 26 for the day. The Hawks simply out-hustled Boston. Spud Webb on the steal and the basket. Little man had 21 for Atlanta as they beat the Celtics today 106-94. Boston still, however, leads that series 3-1. Denver won today, so that series is now tied 2-2. And Dallas at home, the Mavericks over Los Angeles by a pair. That series is tied now at 2 games apiece. Normally, card sharks are the ones who fare well in Las Vegas, but today it was a golf shark who hit the jackpot. Greg Norman, the great white shark, literally ran away with the Las Vegas Invitational. This is Norman's tee shot on the par 3 14th. Nice effort led to a bird and a round of 65. He wins by 3 shots and pockets $207,000. Finally in sports, the pace car literally stole the show at the Winston 500 in Alabama today. It seems some unidentified grease monkey decided to take the pace car out for a Sunday drive, so he simply hijacked it. Moments later, he had the pedal to the metal and was cruising at speeds in excess of 100 miles an hour. Must have been quite a thrill for the young man, but track officials were anything but thrilled. They called out the cavalry and set up a speed trap and finally nabbed the guy with a Smokey and Bandit type of roadblock. As the joyride ended, security politely we add, removed him from the car. He got more than a speeding ticket. Whatever he got, he will not be able to contest that ticket because there were some 120,000 witnesses at the racetrack.
They saw him do it.
What a story.
Thank you, Rob. As we say goodnight, we leave you with a look back at the historic trip that took 5 men and 1 woman to the top of the world. May they serve to remind us that no matter how unattainable our goals may seem, our dreams can still come true.
The main thing is the temperatures are about 50 below now. They're holding the ice solid. It's a little cold and inconvenient sometimes sleeping and dressing and so forth, but we're all used to the 50 below temperature. It's no surprise to us at all.
No, so there's no risk you're going to make it to the pole, right? You're going to make it to the pole?
I don't see anything that's going to stop us.
Well, I guess I'm at the same time optimistic and also somewhat appalled at what we're facing.
Feeling very sad. A little bitter. You know, you put 2 years of few years of, preparation into it, and you get crushed by a sled, and I've got something like a broken rib, or I'm not sure, but it really is debilitating, so it's hard to leave.
Meet the Love Doctor, Leo Biscaglia.
On Good Company.
Tonight, on Cinema Classics, Steve McQueen is Nevada Smith, and he's out to avenge the cruel murders of his parents. Brian Keith co-stars in this action-packed thriller. Tonight, you'll find it on 5.